have our favorite eating establishments that we frequent for breakfast or lunch. Well, what would you do if you found out your number one diner was not just closing, but moving out of the country? Well, that's exactly what happened to the patrons of the excellent diner in Westfield, and the move was greeted with mixed emotions.
It's a sad day when something that has been a lifelong thing here in Westfield, such as the excellent diner, has been there for as long as I've been here. And as a child, I used to visit the excellent diner. And now to see it leave, it's a sad day for Westfield to lose part of its history, especially when things could have been worked out. There are many Westfielders who were regular patrons of the diner, who have been here all their lives, who have known Steve and Harriet as I have for the last 20 years and come to love them very much as Westfield citizens. Even though they don't live here, we consider them part of Westfield. And today, part of Westfield leaves us. And I would only hope that the legacy will continue wherever the excellent diner goes, and that they would put Westfield, New Jersey, wherever this diner lands. I would like to see Westfield, New Jersey put on it, because it's been a landmark for Westfield.
Welcome to episode 20 of the Magical Disneyland Paris podcast, all things magical and Disneyland Paris. I'm Andrew Williamson and I'm joined by Simon West.
Bonjour.
Each Magical Disneyland Paris podcast episode will have a different focus, be it an attraction, restaurant or special element of the Disneyland Paris world. This episode we are focusing on Café des Cascadeurs. We will also hand over to you, the listener, and discuss your views and opinions. Bonjour indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say your French accent's nearly as bad as mine with the old Café des Cascadeurs.
I got a C in French, I think, actually.
I mean, I didn't even take it, so that's better than I did.
You can probably still speak better French than I can, though.
Let's not test it, Andrew. Let's not test it.
We won't test it, but I just remember in my French lessons we were sat alphabetical order, boy, girl, by the teacher. And luckily for me, I won't say her name, but it was somebody beginning with a W for the surname. I sat next to her, cleverest in the class. So I think it must have just kind of like osmosis or something. It just kind of soaked into my brain from her brain. I got a C in the exam. Boom. I can't even speak French.
Nice. Well done. I mean, you're not advocating copying or anything, are you, Andrew?
No, I didn't copy. It just very good. My brain did. I didn't know I was doing it. So yeah, Café des Cascadeurs. Before we start kicking off with what we normally go through, the history, what it's like now, what it's going to be like in the future, hopefully. What do you know about Café des Cascadeurs, Simon? Before we started this episode.
Well, this is going to be a fun episode because we've got both ends of the spectrum here, really, when it comes to knowledge about this what I would call slightly niche restaurant, if I'm honest. We've got me at one end of the spectrum, who's I've never been to the place, and then we've got you at the other end of the spectrum, who, I mean, this is, if you died, this would be your heaven.
Oh yes, right? Definitely would.
So I think this is going to be an educational experience for me. Let's put it that way.
Well, hopefully the listeners will learn something. Hopefully I don't learn anything, because I should know everything that we're talking about today. Hopefully.
I mean, you really are the teacher in this scenario.
Don't remind me that I'm back at school in a few days' time. And if you're listening to us in the future, I'm probably already at school now with my head in my hands.
Oh, bless you.
Anyway, so yeah, hopefully some listeners out there will know some of this already, but I can imagine for quite a few listeners, especially those like you, Simon, who haven't managed to get to eat inside the Café des Cascadeurs, you're going to learn something from this, so it's going to be really interesting. It will be quite interesting as well to see your reaction to what I say, my opinion. You might be able to quiz me on why I believe certain things, so let's see how it goes anyway. So let's start off with the brief history of the diner, the Café des Cascadeurs diner. It started life as the Excellent Diner, it was known as, in Westfield, New Jersey. Apparently it's very close to New York City. I'm not very good with my geography. I didn't sit next to that girl in geography, and the information didn't soak into my brain. But yeah, very, very interesting. The original diner was created by the Jerry O'Mahony Company in America. For decades, they were the leading manufacturer of dining cars. They built the diner in 1947 in Elizabeth. This style of diner, apparently, according to their books, can be recognised by its streamlined beauty, rounding corners, and stainless steel trim. What's not to love?
Ooh. I'm tantalised already.
Oh, it's amazing. Now, I found the sales brochure. Now, I'll share a link to this once we've finished and once we've released the podcast. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the brochure is really, really interesting. It kind of is just the sales brochure. It tells you the different types of diner you can buy, all the different features, some of the original imagery, and it is really interesting, especially if you really, really, really love this Café de Cascadeurs. One interesting point that I'd like to focus on for a little bit is the fact that, obviously, we're talking the 1950s here, 1960s, when people were, well, this was popular and this was the main time period for diners in America. Now, I've put in today's money as well. In the brochure, it recommends that you can gain about $5,000 to $10,000 a year in income by running one of these diners, which today's money is $112,000, which for a small, because it's not massive, is it? For a small diner, that's not a bad income, really, is it?
No, that's not a bad turnover. I mean, I would imagine that's probably based on a few people stopping in their cars and coming and having a quick bite of, reasonably priced food. Whereas in Disney, this place is always full, and €14 for a burger. I mean, they've got to be raking it in, right?
There must be, but you need to be lucky when you catch it open. That's the only thing.
You do.
We will talk about that later on. But like I said, it started life as the Excellent Diner. Now, when I originally wanted to do a podcast episode about the Café de Cascadeurs, I was a little bit aware of this story, but until you start digging down into the story and how it's touched the people of Westfield in New Jersey, it kind of is. It was part of the community. Now, there's an hour-long documentary. Alan from Café Fantasia actually sent me it a long, long time ago now. I remember him sharing the tweet a few years ago now when my love for Café de Cascadeurs first began. But you need to watch that. Again, we'll share the link for that one on Twitter and Facebook and our website with this podcast episode. Because it basically shows you the inside of the diner when it was working. It even says on the sign it's air conditioned, and if you look at the some imagery, you can actually see there's no space for the air conditioning unit to go anywhere other than on the roof. So there's just big long tubes and fans on top of the roof. Kind of doesn't add to the aesthetic, but it's an air conditioned facility, so that's good. What was I saying? So yeah, the video talks to different punters, different customers, what they loved about the place. Some of them probably didn't leave the diner, and they had the breakfast there every morning. They always went there for tea or dinner in the evening. But it's definitely a wonderful thing to listen to and to watch. It also covers the movement of the original diner to its new location. It was relocated and moved to Germany. Kind of lasted in Westfield for about 20 years, and in 1995 it was sold to a German buyer who had it shipped overseas, and he wanted it to be Germany's first American-style diner. It's so amazing, the passion that people have for this diner. It started off a long time ago. I think when I started digging down into this story a lot more, Simon, it was another reason why I liked this Café de Cascadeurs restaurant in Disneyland Paris so much.
Well, this is something that's always really fascinating to find out, because you go to these theme parks and, I mean, by and large, the stuff you see is, it's fabricated. It's not real stuff. It's themed, literally. But I mean, hark back to the Eddie Soto interview that you did, and him talking through how they'd go around and find antique shops to fill the main street shops with as decorations. I mean, this is that, but on a really crazy scale. They've taken a whole restaurant that was a genuine restaurant, in the 60s and 70s in America, then as an American diner in Germany, and they've brought it to the Studios Park.
Now, I just wonder, because obviously this guy from Germany brought it over. in 1995, it must have been a very expensive and a very time-consuming thing to organise. I just wonder if Disneyland Paris would have brought it over from America themselves. Obviously, if it's in Germany, you don't have to put it on the sea. You just need to put it on the back of a truck and it drives into France. Do you feel that they would have taken the expense if they wanted this diner from America?
Well, I mean, you sort of have to imagine probably not. I mean, in terms of how quickly you could throw up a cheap building to be able to get, a kitchen and a nice amount of space for people to sit. I mean, certainly nowadays at least, that's not a huge amount of money. But I mean, transporting something or, pulling it apart and piecing it back together, I think there's probably a lot of unexpected costs involved in that.
Yeah, the obviously on the Eddie Soto interview, he does talk about how they, like you mentioned, go and source lots of original materials and artifacts and bring them from around the world to the park to help with the theming. But this probably would have been the biggest challenge of all, which is probably why it was useful for them that they could locate one in Germany. He probably was going to sell it. Now, I don't know this for sure, I'm just making this up now, but he was probably looking at selling it, and Disneyland Paris thought, you know what, that would go really, really well in our Walt Disney Studios park in the back lot area. Nice little quote here. It was a neat experience because it was like walking back into the 1950s. That's why apart from the German guy wanting it to be brought over to be the country's first American-style diner, he just thought it was like a little time machine as well. And that's kind of what you get now in Disneyland Paris, which you won't even know about. Now, we won't talk about the video anymore, but if you want to watch it, we'll share the link in the notes for this podcast, and we'll also put it on our Twitter and our website. Definitely worth a watch. An hour long, it is a quite long one. A lot of the stuff is repeated, but even it's definitely worth just a little flick through to see what the original diner was like, because there isn't that much different really. They have modernised it and stuff, and obviously it needs to follow the health and safety regulations of today, but pretty much still the same size, still the same kind of layout inside, and we'll talk about that in the next bit. So yeah, it's currently located now, after it went from America to Germany, it's now in backlot at Walt Disney Studios Park. Now, I couldn't get a definite opening date for this, but obviously Walt Disney Studios Park opened on the 16th of March 2002, and from what we've seen, it looks like Café de Cascadeurs opened a few weeks after the opening. Now, one thing that you said to me before we pressed record, Simon, was that until you looked through the notes, you didn't realise what Café de Cascadeurs actually stood for, or what it was translated into English. So if you want to share your knowledge with everybody now, you know it.
Well, I mean, it's quite convenient that we opened the episode by saying that we don't know any French, because otherwise that might have been a big bombshell for the listeners. But it turns out Café de Cascadeurs translates to effectively the stuntman's cafe, which, I mean, in hindsight now kind of makes sense of why they have the little icon of a guy on a motorbike.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? And it obviously fits in with the location of where it is in the park as well.
It does, obviously right next to Motors Action.
Yeah, so now again, being the naive Englishman that I am, and I didn't read French when I went to France, so yeah, I thought it was just a cafe, and I don't know what Cascadeurs meant. But again, I didn't even kind of picture the actual image of the stunt rider, so I didn't really put two and two together there at all. That's probably just me being one of those silly British people.
I mean, it's very easy to get the feeling that it's, I mean, to be honest, when I saw it, I thought of it more as kind of like almost like a massive Winnebago. This is the place where the cast and crew go after they've had their day filming, and they swish off to the diner and then eat some fast food. You kind of get that theming very easily. There are a few nods to it being a stuntman's cafe. As you go in, there's a helmet and a sort of rider's cloak and jacket up. So there are a few things that give hints to it. But obviously, if you don't speak French, you could turns out you could miss that quite easily.
But yeah, we always talk about Disney having a story, don't we? And again, another reason why Café de Cascadeurs wins a place in my heart is, again, it's not in your face, doesn't make a big thing out of it, as there's no stunt riders riding up and down on motorcycles in the cafe itself, in the diner itself, but there's little props, little bits of theming, the bike outside, like you were saying, the helmet, and the jacket out, just hanging up as you walk in the door, just to kind of show that's what it's supposed to be. Kind of making it authentic, because you wouldn't have people shouting at you through the door going, "Oh, welcome to the Stuntman's Cafe." So you don't need to shout at people, but it kind of just tells you subliminally. Can't even say that word, that was a weird word. So yeah, they kind of show you what it is rather than forcing it down your throat all the time. The food on offer, now, it's classed as American food. It's very, very simple. Now, have you looked at the menu? I know you haven't been to the Café de Cascadeurs before. Before you looked at the menu, did you know what it served or not?
Oh, of course. I mean, I've met you, so I mean, all the many years of knowing you has built up in my head that the Café de Cascadeurs does the very best burgers in the history of mankind.
In the history of mankind, indeed. Yes. Now, I think one of the reasons why it works so well is it is just so simple. You've basically got, if you go to a lot of restaurants, and suppose around the park, it is still quite simple as well, but there's no real options. So for the starter, if you want a starter, basically all there is Caesar salad, and that is it. Currently, this one, I think this menu was from June 2018. It's probably similar now. So at €8.49, you could get a starter of a Caesar salad, and that is it. So that's the starter sorted, which obviously I don't go for, having not a fear, but anything green, no thank you. Waste of time, waste of space. But the main courses, so yeah, this is your options, baby. Burger, or burger.
Oh, nice.
Now, obviously, the premium beef burger at €14.99 is that's the way you want to go. You don't want to go with the chicken burger or the veggie burger. No offense to anybody out there who likes a bit of a veggie burger. But yeah, you got the steak, you got the cheese, you got bacon. Again, I take the salad out, so I don't know what it tastes like with the salad, but you've got onions. You then got the nice burger sauce as well. Don't forget the pickles. But it's just everything. I've had better fries places. Now, I've read a few tweets from a while ago that I posted when I visited for the first time. What's it called? Five Guys. I went to York during the summer holidays and had a taste of Five Guys. I remember tweeting at the time, will this be better, the same, or worse than Café de Cascadeurs? And I was undecided at the time, but looking back, the fries were amazing at Five Guys. They definitely beat Café de Cascadeurs. But the fact that the burger is cooked right in front of you to your order, you can see how fresh the ingredients are. Café de Cascadeurs won it for me.
Yeah, Five Guys is definitely the I guess the obvious comparison point, isn't it? Mind you, Five Guys, is it 15? Well, I'm going to assume the exchange rate right now is a 1-to-1 given Brexit. So is it £15 for a burger in Five Guys?
It was quite expensive, I remember, and I was in York at the time, and I was thinking, wow, this is must be a premium burger, this. And there's no frills, but it was definitely tasty.
To talk through the menu again,
sorry,
it's nice how they go through again. Premium beef burger, premium chicken burger, and premium veggie burger. Nothing's not premium here.
That's why you can charge a few euros extra if you put the word premium on the front.
Exactly. I mean, I guess maybe it's premium in comparison to, I don't know, Cafe Hyperion, perhaps.
Definitely. That's like eating the microwave cardboard box. And I have tasted them before. I've never tried the chicken burger, and I'm hoping that I can imagine that it looks very tasty. And I'm not a fan of the veggie burger, but I'm sure if they put the same love as they put in with the beef burger, it would be absolutely delicious, and I'm very hungry right now.
You should be. Just to say, the veggie burger is the patty is described as a vegetable cake. So doesn't that sound appealing?
Not when you don't like vegetables very much, no. But yeah, it's the exact same stuff, isn't it, really? So you've got caramelised onions, you've got the vegetables, so like the lettuce, and there is actually a few more vegetables in the veggie burger, but it's very similar filling. It's just basically you've either got the beef patty in there, you've got the chicken, roast chicken in there, or you've got the vegetable cake. So again, it's very, very simple. I do like the fact, like I mentioned before, that you can sit. There's nice round spinny chairs in front of the counter where they take your order. I've been seated there once before, and I've also been seated in a booth a couple of times as well. And being seated at the counter was probably the best experience, because a bit unnervy at times, because you kind of sat right in front of the person who is cooking your food, and you keep watching them and you think, where's that hand going to go? Oh, wait a minute, you're going to rub your face. Oh, you haven't touched your nose, that's fine. Are you going to wipe it on your pinny or your apron? So you are watching them like a hawk. And good to say, on the experience I had when I was on the counter, yeah, they didn't touch the nose or pick the nose or scratch the bum or anything when I was watching. So you kind of in your head, you know what's happening with your food. You can see it. You can see them getting it out the fridge. You can see them cooking it. The health and safety they were putting into it, and it kind of just, I don't know, it just makes it a lot. I think maybe tastes nicer as well, because you can see that that's the burger you've had from point A to point B and then point C in your mouth.
Well, I run with a thought that food's always tastier when you've cooked it yourself. So I guess it's probably like halfway there if you've seen someone cook it. It's got to be better, right? Yeah,
and you don't. It's better than sitting there waiting, doing nothing as well. Obviously, when you're in the queue for a fast service, some of the burgers that you've probably ordered have been sat there for probably not in Disneyland Paris, but maybe a couple of minutes. So all they're doing is basically picking it, putting it on the tray, and then shoving it in front of you. Whereas at this one, I've seen that sometimes they've brought it to your table, sometimes you've went up to the counter to collect it. So I've had different experiences, but you basically got to walk 2 steps from the oven to your table, and it's still fresh it's still piping hot. It's just a really good experience. Now I am a fussy eater, and I'm not a person that minds busy restaurants, but part of it as well is the fact that it's because it is limited seating available inside. There is a few tables outside, but I've never seen anybody using those before, probably because I've been there in the winter, so they're probably not in use. But it's the fact that there's not as many people there, so there's not as many people on top of you. There's no pushing and shoving. The queue is outside, so if there is a queue or you want to get inside and there's a couple of tables coming up, you wait outside. So there's no like standing queuing or anything like that. So it's a lot more relaxed and a nice atmosphere in there. Oh yeah. Let's go on to desserts or children, unless you've got anything else you want to say about burgers.
No, other than it's served with fries, or apparently you can get a little Caesar salad with it.
Yeah, you can get little pots of Caesar salad.
Who would do that, though?
Yeah,
Who's ever had burger and salad before? It just doesn't happen.
Especially if you've normally got a bit of salad.
Definitely not in America.
If you've got a bit of salad in your burger, there's no point in getting extra salad, really.
Yeah.
Come on. You can get a kid's children's burger, or chicken burger, with cherry tomatoes and an apple compote. Don't forget the no added sugar. Like a little child menu there. You can get a kid's beef burger. I remember Noah, he had the beef burger and fries. I've still got the picture in my head now of him, like, basically one mouthful and the burger was like squashed into his mouth, and he loved it so much. And I don't know if it's because I kept saying to him, oh, these are the nicest burgers I've ever tasted. Even now, a few years later or a few months later, he'll say, oh, I love the Café de Cascadeurs burger. So much so that when I think it was last time we went in February last year, I was on Hyperspace Mountain, I think, and the missus and Noah went into Walt Disney Studios Park to have a little look around, and I think they wanted to go in and have a little cheeky photograph to wind me up, saying that they've been to Café de Cascadeurs, but sadly for them it was actually shut. And I remember him, there's a picture outside of him on the motorbike outside pretending to cry because he couldn't go inside. That's how much I've kind of just forced it. He's a Liverpool fan with football, and I've forced him to be a Café de Cascadeurs fan as well, and it's kind of worked.
Well, like father, like son, right?
Desserts, I can't remember. I think actually, yeah, I had ice cream last time, but you've got a fruit salad, got pancakes, and of course it's got chocolate sauce. That's they're obviously not branded as Nutella, but that'll be Nutella pancakes. You've also got then Ben & Jerry's ice cream, which is very expensive. €5 for one of the small pots.
Yeah, €5 a pot. I mean, it's not that much more than in a supermarket here, to be honest. Assuming it's not on a deal, obviously.
Of course. But these are the tiny little pots you can get for like £2 in a.
Oh wait, these are the tiny pots.
Oh yeah, you don't get a full pot for €5.19.
That's actually heartbreaking.
And as with any eatery, you can get now. At the time, this was a 25th anniversary mug, but I'm sure they have something similar now. But they always have like straws or souvenir mugs that you can purchase. You've then got the usual for drink: Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, water. Nestea, sparkling water, and you've got a selection of hot drinks such as coffee with milk, and then tea, cappuccino, or a hot chocolate drink. So again, it's very, very simple, very straightforward. If you don't like a burger, don't really go to Café de Cascadeurs because it's kind of all about the burger, isn't it?
I mean, it's literally all about the burger. Burger is the only thing they serve, unless you want to count Caesar salad. But that's not food as far as we're concerned.
Nope. Now, this is going to be really bad information because I can't remember the name of the film. You might remember it. You might have seen it, hopefully. It's a film about the guy who started up McDonald's. Ooh, what's he called? The Founder. Have you watched the film The Founder before?
No, I haven't. No, this is going to be more education for me.
I believe it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Again, this is everything that I know is written down on a piece of paper. Anything else is gone. But anyway, The Founder, that film is all about how this guy created McDonald's, basically. But some of the principles that he used at the start were basically keep it simple and do it well. And that's kind of what Café de Cascadeurs is doing. As soon as you walk in, it's simple. What's your order? Burger. What type of burger? You can ask for it. Different types of cooking as well. So medium, well, and rare. And it's keeping it simple, isn't it? In, out. Your fries are all the same. The salad's always the same. It is basically how do you want your burger cooked? Slap it on. Boom. Tastes the same every time. Well,
I mean, they're good at what they do, clearly.
They could definitely go worldwide with this. If I had some money, now we'll maybe talk about this later on, because who knows what the future holds for Café de Cascadeurs. But if I was the couple that won the 100 million euros it was the other day, I would probably purchase it, buy a few more, and go worldwide.
Yeah, take on Five Guys.
Take them on.
Beat them at their own game.
But obviously I'll pay for a license and get some stuntman with Mickey Mouse ears on the top, just to bring it back to the Disney way.
I mean, if Motors Action gets retired as well, then buy them both.
I could go on a travelling world tour. You can't have animals in circuses anymore. You can't call people freaks. I don't know what I was going to say then, but I stopped myself from saying anything bad. You can't have people at a circus as kind of a sideshow, so why not have stuntmen flying around on cars, travelling the world, with Café de Cascadeurs towing in the back?
Stunts and burgers. What more could you want in life?
There we go. It's a Disney on Ice. We'll do that around the world. So yeah, back to the interior. Now we've discussed a little bit of the food. Wurlitzer. What do you know of a Wurlitzer, young Simon?
I mean, obviously this is far beyond my time. Before my time.
And mine as well. And mine.
But it's a jukebox, I believe.
A jukebox? You know what a jukebox does, young man?
It's like an iPod, but it's massive and slow.
It is.
Right.
Now, I can imagine, this is an original as well, and it still works, and you can pay. Now, I'm sure, I'm not going to tell you it now, because I know that Alan, Café Fantasia, has sent us a nice long email, as usual, and he goes into detail of how much it actually costs to use that, so come back later. There's a bit of a cliffhanger there. You're going to find out how much it is. But you can either put in some money and buy one song, or you can buy 3 songs, I think it is. But yeah, so many cool 50s and 60s tunes into the world. It's when it lights up, it's so cool. It just kind of adds more to the atmosphere and the theming of the time of the American diner experience. It's just so beautiful.
And as always, it's really nice to have things that you can actually interact with in a restaurant as well.
It is, yeah. It's kind of if you are waiting for your food, or you want to wait in between courses or anything like that. If you're waiting between your salad and your burger, or your burger and your dessert, you could then walk.
Or your burger and your next burger.
Your burger and your next burger. That's very true. You could then walk up to the Wurlitzer, put your cents in or your euros in, select a song. You've then got the experience there. It's also a nice wow factor when you walk in. Once you've walked in to the diner, you can see it on the left hand side, and it just lights up my smile on my face.
Aww.
Talking about presentation and how the theme's presented, I didn't talk about how the food's presented. It comes in a little basket. So kind of your burger and your salad and your fries are all together in this little basket. Maybe is a little bit harder to eat than if you were on a, say for example, a Tonette's diner and you have a nice plate and you've got space to move things around. But again, it's authentic. It's kind of simple, isn't it? There's no washing up to do. There's no pots. Basically, these plastic baskets have got the paper in. The burger and the fries are on the paper. When you're done, paper goes in the bin. The little plastic basket will get washed. That's straight back out there. It's just really simple. And you've got the cardboard for your drinks, or you've got you can have glass as well, or bottles. So it is very simple, and for people to big it up like me so much, it just surprises me every time that how simple things are, from the way it's cooked to the way it's presented.
So when they serve this up, do they serve up the burger with all of the trimmings inside of it, or say do they like leave the pickles or whatever on the side, just in case you want to leave those?
I believe, I think it changes every time. It depends who's working there at the time. But from my experience, the vegetables, pickles and everything like that are on the side. You've then got the burger. You then have the fries. So if you want to put all the red onion and the cabbage and, cabbage and the lettuce and the tomato and stuff in the burger, you choose to do that. And
of course, if you want to put the fries in as well.
Oh yeah, just stack it all up.
And if you want Coke while you're there.
If you want to order 2 burgers, just stack it up. Make a 4 quadruple burger. You've also got this little table placemat, which has a nice little history of the cantina, the diner. You've got that on there as well, so it's got a few pictures, explains the stuntman theme behind it, and just gives you a nice little thing to read as well while you're again sitting there taking in the atmosphere and the theme. Above the little booths, you've got nice little curtains, and above them, before you've got the nice stainless steel roof, you've got little pictures of stuntmen doing their thing, moving around on their motorbikes, doing different things. So it just, again, the theme's subtle and not in your face, but it is there, and you can take a look around and see little bits in there as well.
Yeah, they've definitely prioritised making it a kind of authentic 50s feeling place rather than pushing the kind of, this is a studio kind of feel.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, to be honest, maybe partly goes for all of the theming in the Studios Park. They've just forgotten it's a studio.
Maybe. But obviously, if it was the Stuntman's Café, then there'd be like oily bum prints on the seats and like mud and dirt and stuff on the floor. But obviously you don't want that to be as authentic as it could be. But
well, particularly when you can see the food being cooked. You don't want no oily, greasy hands going on.
No, you don't want to be seeing them park up the motorbike, wipe their hands on the bum, and then put their hands on the spatula and flick a burger. Because they come off the film set straight into the cafe, straight behind the counter into the kitchen area, and flip a burger.
As you do when you're a stuntman, you cook your own burgers.
You could probably do it on the engine.
Oh, that'd be a cool feature. When we get on to the future of this, that's a good idea.
There we go.
Bring in the motorbikes.
That's what we could do.
I like it.
Now, from the outside, I'm not going to lie, the first few times I went to Disneyland Paris, I didn't know it was there. It was only until I kind of did join the community and looked into things on social media, on websites in a lot more detail, and studied the maps, because I was a bit of a crazy little geek like that, just looking to see what was there and what I hadn't tried before. Because you're not going to find it really unless you go looking for it, are you? Kind of like you said before, it could just be a part of the set or the theming of the Walt Disney Studios Park. But it's kind of hidden behind Tower of Terror, next to Armageddon, in front of the Motors Action. So unless you're going to Motors Action or walking past there to go to Rock and Roller Coaster, then you're not going to really see it or know it, are you, really?
Yeah, realistically, I mean, it's in an awful place. Normally, when you're designing a theme park, if you want to have a restaurant or anything that you want people to go to, you put it in a nice, obvious place. But, I mean, behind Tower of Terror? Obviously, Tower of Terror wasn't there when it was put there, but Tower of Terror was still planned to go there. So, it's always been a kind of sideshow of an event. And equally, it's not, to be honest, it's not overly visible when you're walking anywhere, to be honest, because it's not If you're leaving Studio One and heading straight to Motors Action, which is right at the end of Backlot, then you still have to kind of detour off to the right to go and find Cascadeurs. So, yeah, it's not one that most people would come across. Although that's probably a good thing, given that it's not the biggest restaurant in the world.
No, I can mention this. There is a seating area outside, but again, I've never seen it in action. And I don't. Go on, sorry.
If you had the motorbike barbecue engine idea, then that's an outdoor barbecue, isn't it?
There we go. That's the future sorted right there.
You don't need seating inside.
But I don't think the burger would taste the same if it was outside on the table. If you know what I mean.
You think it wouldn't be the same?
I think part of it is the fact that it is the diner, and it's
about the ambience.
It's the ambience. That's our French again. But yeah, it's just the Wurlitzer, the music, the fact that it is quite small and compact, but then it's not busy and full. It's just nice and relaxed, and you can see I think everything together makes it the best burger.
Yeah. We talked about this brochure that's available online for the O'Mahony's diners. There were bigger ones available. The one that we have today is, it was, I guess, kind of medium sized by their standards, but there were some really huge ones. Obviously, in terms of economies of scale, it would be much better for the park if they had a massive diner. Do you think it would make a difference? Do you think it would be better to have a bigger one, or maybe worse if you want it to be a bit more intimate?
I think it's perfect as it is. Because obviously Annette's Diner, Annette's Diner is the same kind of style, isn't it? The theme it's obviously not a stuntman cafe, but it's kind of that era. And you've got people on rollerblades and the kind of
you've got the neon
box,
lights, that kind of thing.
The jukebox music and there is shiny silver plating in certain areas of Annette's Diner, and that is massive. Now the atmosphere there is nice, but it doesn't feel like it would really feel. Whereas because this has basically been plonked from from America via Germany, you kind of just feel it is authentic. So didn't have to, like I said at the start, didn't have to do anything to it really. This is the authentic place. So if for example there was a building behind this that you could walk into and it was themed similar way, but you could kind of tell that you weren't inside the actual diner itself, that would take away from it completely, and I think it would affect the taste of the product. Because you do eat with your eyes, like they say, don't you? I know normally you're talking about the actual looking at the food, but the atmosphere, I believe, anyway, does add to the taste of the burger.
Well, they say that taste is 70% smell, so maybe the other 30% is actually just looking around.
So what I really like is motorbike engines and oil. The smell of leather from a stuntman. That's what makes the burger taste nice. Yeah, the outside, it's all silver. Probably won't be aluminium or aluminum, but it's that kind of effect, nice and shiny. You've got the neon lights, it's massive. We say you can't see it, but there is a really big neon sign that says Café de Cascadeurs with a motorbike on it, and a big menu on the stand. So,
yeah, that's true. That is quite visible.
Now, obviously, the park's normally not open when it's dark, and the cafe definitely won't be open when it's dark, but when I've seen pictures of it in the evening time with the neon lights on, it stands out even more. It's really, really nice. It just looks the part as well. It does look out of place, but the way they've put it in between the plants and the trees, and they've set it back a little bit, they have kind of also painted on the floor kind of like parking bays for cars or motorbikes. Obviously they're not to scale because they are quite small, just to kind of add a little bit more and not to make it too tarmacy and concretey like the rest of Walt Disney Studios Park.
I mean, it's a funny one because its theming is so in and of itself authentic and real, and yet it's kind of amongst nothing else of its era particularly.
Yeah, it stands like a sore thumb, especially when you look across the way now and you've got Lightning McQueen from Cars. He's now parked there for photo opportunities, so it does stand out a little bit. Obviously, it does fit in stunt cars. Now he's in the show a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't really match together very well. But I can't say much more, really. The entrance is still the same as the original entrance. You're kind of at the side, going up some little stairs. Like I said before, I have queued outside there before getting a seat and going in to the main diner. It's just so shiny and nice. Now, opening times, it's always had a history of being the attraction that, well, not the attraction, of the restaurant and the eatery that you'll probably be never see open, and you'll be lucky to get it when it's open. Now, we're lucky enough to have a copy of the hours of the opening hours from January, February and March 2019. Now, if you're listening to this as soon as I release it, hopefully tomorrow, which is the 5th of January, then it is open from 11:30 until 5 o'clock. So that's the Saturday and the Sunday, so that's the 5th and the 6th. It then is closed for the rest of January, so if you're going anytime soon, unlucky. It then apparently reopens. Now, this is obviously... this can change, but on the 9th and the 10th of February, I believe it's open again from this time 12 o'clock until 5 o'clock. So you've got a 5-hour window there where you could possibly see it. And then from the 16th of February, which is obviously when it starts to get busier again for half-term holidays and stuff like that, you've then got it open from 12 till 5 for the rest of February, and then I don't know if anyone's finding this useful, and then all the way in March until the 10th of March it's open till, then it's closed again, and then it opens again, and it's open at weekends, and it looks like that could be the way it's going for the time being, unless you believe the rumours that are coming out of Disneyland Paris at the moment, which are that whole end of backlot are going to be shut down very, very soon, I think April time. And that's when they're going to start redeveloping and turning everything, as we discussed a few episodes ago in our Walt Disney Studios Park refurbishment podcast episode. That's when they're going to start looking at doing Armageddon, which apparently is closing, and you've then got the Stunt Show, which will be closing for a while, and you've got Rock and Roller Coaster with Aerosmith, which will be changing to an Iron Man attraction, apparently. So who knows what's going to happen to poor old Café de Cascadeurs? It could... Obviously, knowing there's a path, isn't there? You can walk past it and round the side of the Tower of Terror. So there is a possibility that they could keep that bit open, unless they are planning on removing my good old little Café de Cascadeurs forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's to be honest, I can't imagine it would get in the way of any access to things, or it could get in the way of access to Armageddon, maybe. But to be honest, it's possible that it could stay open. The resort's being very cagey about what its plans are for closing bits and bobs in that area. They've obviously they've released the concept art that shows it being really quite different. So I mean, at some point it's going to have to close for some major work to be done to it. Anyway, we'll talk about what we think is going to happen in a little bit.
Yeah, so you have still got a chance to get there. So not really much in January, but in February and March you've still got plenty of opportunities to hopefully grab a seat at the Café de Cascadeurs and try one of the burgers. If you don't like burgers, I don't recommend you go. And one of the sections I've put on here just before we start talking about the future of Café de Cascadeurs is what is the food like versus other outlets/restaurants. Now, we've kind of covered that already, and the fact that you have never eaten a burger from there means it's going to be a very one-sided argument because you've got nothing to come back at me with. But like I mentioned, Five Guys, if I'm being very, very honest, taste-wise, they probably are. I can't pick a winner, really. Like I said before, the theming and the fact that I'm in Disneyland Paris does help the fact that Café de Cascadeurs ends up as the best burger. But if we battle it against the other restaurants in the parks, then it's definitely a hands-down winner. I haven't tried it at Five Guys at Disney Village, but definitely at Planet Hollywood, definitely at Annette's Diner, just because it's like you can get crazier burgers with different fillings in Annette's Diner and other restaurants around the parks, but this one is, again, because it's so simple, just so nice and tasty and fresh. The other, like you said, Cafe Hyperion, very, very standard, bog standard fast food there. Doesn't even come close to beating Café de Cascadeurs, that one. McDonald's, nice burger, but these burgers, the patties themselves, they aren't the thickest in the world, but they're definitely not those thin, flappy little paper ones that you get from McDonald's when you have to have like 2 double cheeseburgers just to make it look like one normal burger. I'm not going to go over every single restaurant I've ever been to, but it definitely is high on the list. Definitely in Disneyland Paris anywhere.
Is Hyperion Cafe still doing the Star Wars burgers? Because they had the black Darth Vader burger for a while.
I can't remember the answer to that one. I can't remember.
So, would you want franchises popping up in Cascadeurs?
Oh, no. Because that would mean, because it needs to be kept simple, and they haven't got the space to keep all the stock for all the different types of meals that they could serve, or the different types of burger or bun. So if they started having, I don't know, Avengers burgers or Star Wars burgers in there, I think they would either have to go 100% the theme for that time, or they'd have to go 0%.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Yeah. Because any restaurant you go to anywhere in the world, if they've got a menu more than like 2 sides, if it's like a booklet, then there's a problem. Normally. A, because you can't choose, but B, because they obviously don't sell everything every single time, so how fresh is the ingredients, how often do they cook it, and it kind of goes on, and there's more and more things you could talk about there. Is there anything else we haven't mentioned? We've got the music on the world, we've got the food, we've got what it looks like, we've got the internal, we've got the external, we have the history. I don't think there's anything else we haven't covered. I'm sure there will be, though, and I'll think about it when I'm listening back to this later on, when I'm editing this podcast. So let's go to the future. So we've kind of hinted there that possibly in April, when we start seeing other things possibly becoming refurbished and changed into the Marvelised world, do you think this may survive the major refurb? What are your honest opinions? Now, I don't mind if you ruin it for me and I start to cry. What are your honest opinions? Do you think that Café de Cascadeurs should be, and do you think it will be surviving?
I think it should be, but I'm pretty torn as to whether I think it will actually survive. There's a few reasons for this. Obviously, I think it should stay, mainly, obviously, because the burgers are fantastic, you tell me, but also it's really cool just to have things that have a bit of genuine history to them, because that adds a nice bit of authenticity to it. But to be honest, there's a few problems with it. First one being the size. The Studios Park is going to double, maybe triple in size, certainly in terms of footprint, but also in terms of attractions and what's going to be available. They're going to be expecting a lot more guests coming into the park, and Cascadeurs as a restaurant, it's tiny. It's not going to have the kind of capacity that they'll want from a really big park. Second off, the Marvel area, initially when rumours were coming about, talking about what a Marvel area might be like, there was thoughts of, it could go towards a kind of, obviously it would be very American, so there's good chances for things like Cascadeurs, a nice 50s theme popping up somewhere. But we've got the concept art now. It's very futuristic, it's all very sort of sleek and, big blocks of colours. Yeah, it's difficult to see how a 1950s old diner could fit in. There's possibilities in there. Obviously you could if you had a kind of corner that had lots of like retro memorabilia in it. I don't follow Marvel particularly. Captain America, he's kind of retro, right? So maybe he'd have a little area that would have some retro things in it. But it's difficult to see it really fitting the theme. Then you could talk about, well, is it going to move somewhere else? I can't see it moving to Disney Village, particularly because you've already got a Nets there, so what would be the point in putting a small capacity diner in? Equally, if they retheme it to a boardwalk, American boardwalk, like some rumours are starting to suggest, does an American diner really fit with that? Not really. And then you've got, well, could you just move it to the entrance of the park somewhere that's still keeping that kind of idea that it's glamorizing the movies and the world of making cinema, but that's got quite a heavy 1920s theme to it. So putting in a 50s diner, you could squeeze it in, but it wouldn't be a perfect fit. So considering it's not a high capacity restaurant, I could imagine it could hit the cutting room floor.
No.
Sorry, Andrew.
If I'm being honest, I would be surprised to see it survive. The whole of the Studios Park is, like you said, it's going to totally change. It's not going to be anywhere near the same as it is now. I think the rumours are that the only original attraction that's going to stay the same is the Aladdin Genie's Flying Carpets ride.
That's a classic.
That could be the only attraction that actually stays anywhere near the same. Obviously, Tower of Terror Could that change in the future? Who knows? There's been different opinions and arguments on that over a while now. But it's going to be totally different, and obviously things need to change. In some ways, it might actually be really, well, not good, but if it was to happen and the Café des Cascadeurs was to shut down, wasn't to relocate, I didn't win the lottery and I couldn't buy it, it'd be one of those things, kind of, you start a look, I'm saying it now, Café des Cascadeurs fan club, get some badges made, get some t-shirts. I was there for the Café des Cascadeurs era. Kind of makes it unique that you managed to actually get there when it was open. You actually remember what it tasted like. So it could actually be quite a little badge of honour to say you've actually eaten there. So being selfish, and now I've been there a few times and you haven't, I could say, I don't mind if it shuts because I've been. Nah.
See, I thought you were going to say you could, if it was going to shut, you'd get everyone together and crowdsource the money to buy it.
No, that's a better idea. Why didn't I think
There we go.
that? There we go. Hashtag save Café des Cascadeurs. We haven't asked anybody a question yet. So can we think of what question could we ask them? What snappy catchphrase or hashtag could we create to save Café des Cascadeurs? It could just be save CDC.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. I guess the question then is, do you have the money to save it, please? Thank you.
That's a very good point. Now, just before we pressed record, I was just flicking through Twitter, and the couple that have won the Euro Millions just recently, a fake account has appeared on Twitter, and people are tweeting them, asking for millions of pounds, and because I think they said that they've got a list of 50 people who are their friends and family, and they're going to give like millions of pounds away to each of them, and they've obviously this fake account's been set up and it's tweeting people randomly saying you've won £1 million, congratulations. So who knows, we might be able to tweet them. We'll be able to get some money off the Euro Millions winner. And
I mean, you came up with a business venture earlier that needed it, so
there we go.
I mean, this could make them even more money.
If anybody out there would like to write a business plan that includes stunt show and Café des Cascadeurs moving diner, there we go. There's a niche in the market for that somewhere.
To be fair, there are travelling roller coasters that go around the place, so they're famous. Why don't we have, travelling diners with stunt shows?
Yeah, isn't Indiana Jones supposed to be a travelling roller coaster?
I
don't know. Maybe have I made that up?
I don't know. It might be one of those things that's kind of, it's not meant to move often, but. I mean, it's got a small footprint for it. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Another time, yes. So, yeah, will it survive the major refurb? It's not going to be touched in the refurb, but it might be taken away and never seen again. That's my opinion. Will it move location? Could it work somewhere else? Who knows? Obviously, it's going to be Walt Disney Studios Park's going to have very big, different themed areas. So you're going to have when you're walking down that path and you've got the lake, you're going to go off to the left-hand side and you're going to have the Star Wars land. You're then going to go in front of you and you've got the Frozen land. You've then got the Marvel-themed area. You've then got a random area which has Aladdin's flying carpets. So it could potentially be moved to in the woods on another side of the lake, which has no theming, which is just kind of randomly put there, because that's going to be that kind of side of the lake, isn't it? Toontown area, where Ratatouille is. You've got Ratatouille, then you've got Aladdin. So why couldn't you have a Café des Cascadeurs diner located there? Potential.
I mean, maybe it could be redone as if it's a toy diner.
Maybe.
And you're a little toy in a woods, and you go into a diner. I mean, it's not a great storyline coming together, but you never know. To be fair, I mean, this lake that they want to build, assuming the footprints haven't been shrunk, I mean, it's going to be absolutely huge, and there's going to be a lot of empty space around it. So, I mean, you don't chuck something if you could still use it somewhere else, right?
Could we have it as a floating diner?
I mean, that would be really cool, wouldn't it?
On the lake?
Yeah. Or what? Then you'd have, like, seated, like, timed dining or whatever.
Yeah.
So it docks, everyone gets on, and then you go off, you have, like, a 3-course burger meal of your beef burger, your chicken burger, and your vegetable cake. And then you come back, it docks and changes over the customers.
Now, it could be a character. floating diner as well, because you could then have the Stig from Top Gear. You could have him tied in. They like to buy IPs. We can buy that IP.
Yeah, and then he's doing like jumps in a water ski over there.
He does that first, and then he climbs aboard. Get a picture of him, and he drips all the water and oil into your burger.
He wipes his oily bum and then cooks your burger.
There we go. We've sorted it. Disneyland Paris. Put it on a barge. Put it on the lake. There you go. Vegetable cake.
And then projection map onto it.
Now, I was going to say, there's a big question mark on projection mapping. Obviously, if it's going to stay the way it is, you don't want to change anything of it, really. Maybe it needs a bit of a clean up on the outside. But I don't think there's anything you could do to projection map it. You could projection map some silhouettes of some stuntmen on motorbikes if it was night time, I suppose. Like going past the windows, maybe, something like that. But I don't think we need to go much projection mapping on that one. Apart from, if it's on the lake, it'll obviously be part of the nighttime spectacular on the lake with the fireworks. You could projection map onto the frozen Elsa's castle, what's going to be in the background, a massive stuntman and a big sign that comes on saying Café de Cascadeurs, floating diner, burger, eat me. Just as simple as that.
And that is the show.
That's all it is.
Epcot reflections eat your heart out.
Somebody bites into the burger on the projection mapped burger, and then fireworks come out the side, which is kind of like the mayonnaise or the burger sauce flying out at each side.
It's like a massive advert for burgers at Disney, really, isn't it? So everyone goes to the nighttime show, and they've had their dinner 3 or 4 hours ago, and they're watching this burger show, and they're thinking, what I could really do with right now? A burger. And then everyone goes off and buys burgers at 11 p.m. Perfect.
Oh, they don't, because it's not open again. And the time that it was open, they didn't go to it because they didn't know it was open.
Yeah, that'll make them feel bad, won't it? That'll teach people like me a lesson.
Now, I know a lot of people who've sent us opinions have talked about what theming they could potentially or would like to see on Café de Cascadeurs in the future if it was to stay or relocate. So I'm not going to kind of discuss that myself, really. I haven't got really any idea. Like I've said before, I have watched some Marvel, and now Noah's playing Lego Marvel on the PlayStation. I do know a lot more about Marvel Universe now, but I am interested in it, and I do like it, and I will enjoy going to the parks when it's there. But I don't really know how you could theme it around that. People are saying you've got Coulson, who's one of the agents from Marvel, and he could potentially have his diner themed to him. Star Wars, you could maybe have, I know it's called the Cantina, isn't it? But it doesn't look anything like a diner. But could you have a really weird Cantina style diner? Who knows?
To be fair, if they accidentally trashed it during the refurb, then Jakku, Tatooine, they've got some like metallic junky things knocking around.
True.
Or who are the little tiny creatures in hoodies that have little beady eyes that sell junk to each other? They could have taken over Cascadeurs.
They're the bad children that were excluded from the school, and we don't want them back.
They're the naughty Padawans.
What about Frozen? You could just spray it in loads of fake ice and snow, and just say it was taken over, and there's some kind of time dimension break in the time continuum or something. And it's gone from the CGI world into the real world.
Yeah, and it's been to America, it's been to Germany, it's been to Paris, so you can go to Norway, perfectly fine.
Yodelay, hee-hoo! That isn't Norway.
I think that's Alpine, yeah.
The funny thing is, some of my ancestors are originally from Norway a long, long time ago, so that's it's okay. Well, it's against my own people. It's fine.
They're telling you their grave now.
Before we go on to the listeners' opinions, there was one fact that I wanted to remind people of that I completely forgot about myself, and I haven't even tried it out. Apparently, the motorbike that's outside with the sidecar, if you go to the back of that sidecar, there's a few of these around, these little interactive secrets. The first one, before I tell you what this one is, if you're in Studio One in Walt Disney Studios, now this doesn't always work, but towards can't remember what it's called now, but the fast food joint that's there. There's like a big lighting desk, well, kind of old-fashioned lighting desk in a silver flight case. If you move the sliders and touch the buttons on there, you do interact with the lights sometimes when it's turned on in the studios, in Studio One. And I remember a few times I've ended up with egg on my face because I've said to people, go and touch that button, move that slider, and they do it, and they're like, nothing happens here. But then a few other times I've been and people have moved the slider and you can see spotlights changing and floodlights are changing the colours on the walls. But anyway, back to Café de Cascadeurs. At the back of the motorbike and the trailer, you've got a little toolbox. If you open the lid, there's actually tools in there, but you can hear the sound effect of different tools and noises of people like working with tools and stuff like that from the stunt show. If you close it, I think it only lasts for a few seconds, but it's kind of just a nice little interactive touch that people don't normally know about. Now, hopefully it still works, or else I'm going to look stupid now, aren't I? Or maybe not. I thought you'd gone for a minute then. I was panicking.
No, it works every time, Andrew. Works every time.
Of course it does. Let's go on to the tweets. Not gonna lie, it was a long time ago when we asked for this information, so if you remember tweeting this, then congratulations, well done. The first one, Sebastian Perolaz. Sebastian Perolaz. That'll do, mate. The only thing I fear about the huge expansion of the park is that this beloved cafe doesn't fit anymore if the stunt show is gone. Like I mentioned before, if you didn't know already, it's about the stunt show. It's Stunt Show Cafe, Stuntman Cafe. Like we said before, the story kind of fits together at the moment, kind of. So if it was to go, the stunt show, and it was something else, some Marvel stunt show, would it still work the same? Maybe with a couple of tweaks, but probably not.
I mean, I think realistically it would only need a name change. There's nothing else about it that is specifically about stunts. So
that's true.
Change the name to
Café Marvel.
Café de Marvel, yeah. Job done. Easy peasy.
Café
Next week's from...
Sorry, well. Café de... It's not even worth it now. Café de Iron Man flying. I don't even know where no, we'll scrap that bit. Go on. Next
tweet's from John Joe at JohnJoe_42. He says, "Great diner, the oldest restaurant in any of the Disney parks worldwide, a true piece of Americana history. I hope it survives the Walt Disney Studios park expansion."
Yeah, I forgot that fact as well. The one most important fact. I think we did mention that it being the oldest or part of the oldest theming or anything like that. But yeah, it's the oldest restaurant in any of the Disney parks worldwide. I'm not sure about how old it is as a prop or as a piece of scenery or anything like that, but it's definitely the oldest restaurant that's ever in use in any Disney park. So it's a nice little bit of trivia there that you can impress people with if you manage to find the doors of Café de Cascadeurs open. DLP Outpost at DLP Outpost on Twitter. I hope it stays. I think it still fits in an Iron Man setting. Just change the name. Definitely don't change it to Café de Iron Man Flying or anything like that.
And Sydney Sharing at Donabol DLP Outpost says they'll add shawarma to the menu and change the name to Stan's Authentic Hero Diner.
Now, when I looked at this before, shed a little tear, because obviously when we asked for this information, when Sydney sent us his tweet in, Stan would have been alive still, and sadly he's not with us anymore. So it would actually be quite a nice little nod to Stan Lee, wouldn't it, if they did change the name to Stan's Authentic Diner and put in some photos, some like memorabilia to do with Stan Lee. What do you think? Make like comic book kind of style, maybe? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, comic book and memorabilia would really fit with a kind of 1950s diner. It's got that same kind of feel to it. So yeah, no, I mean, also Stan Lee's comics always like to kind of hark back to old retro things anyway. Yeah, no, I think that's quite a cracking idea. Would be a really nice tribute. And again, though, you get that kind of difficulty arise of, well, that gets really meta then if you have a Marvel world that's meant to be in Marvel rather than, as it currently would be, a studio making a film that's Marvel. So Stan Lee would really fit there, but once you're trying to create an immersive world, it would get really meta then.
But obviously Stan Lee has all the cameos in a lot of the films, so it could be his cameo in the real world of Marvel rather than it being the studio version of Marvel, if you know what I mean.
There we go.
Jelle Peters, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. I want to eat there so bad, but it has never been open when I was in DLP. Hopefully I get a chance on my next visit. And hopefully you'll let us know, if you're not too embarrassed by the way I've said your name. Have you managed to visit it yet? Let us know. Hopefully that's changed and you can then tell us your opinions. Did you like it or not?
Yeah, there we go. I think that's probably a better podcast question coming out there. Just remember to tweet to @MagicalDLP whenever you go to Disneyland and you go to Café de Cascadeurs. Send us some pictures. Tell us what you think of the burger or the burger, and we'll share it around.
The burger or the burger. Anything else, don't bother tweeting us.
Yeah, if you send the Caesar salad, we will not be happy.
Go on, last tweet.
And finally from Christina KB at ChristinaKB17. We didn't have a chance to eat there when we visited, but a question. In the northeast United States, actual old little diners like this are still operating and are somewhat common. Are they as common in Europe, or is this part of the appeal?
Now,
well, I guess, I guess the story of the diner actually sort of answers that in and of itself. I mean, it wouldn't have been taken to Ireland and Germany to be the first American diner in Germany if there wasn't, that kind of, it's a kind of niche appeal thing, isn't it? We don't have American diners outside of America. So, I think the appeal does come from them being quite rare. Mind you, a few more things do obviously follow the kind of 50s diner theme now. You've got Five Guys, you've got Annette's in Disney Village, so it's not totally rare. But, I mean, as you've said earlier, the thing that makes it unique is that it is its own little restaurant in and of itself. Yeah,
now, like you said, Five Guys, you've got Eddie's Diner, Ed's Diner, I think, which is closed down now, but they're all... There is a market there for American diners like this. Now, they're always in a modern industrial place or a modern shopping precinct,
a shopping mall or something.
So, and they've got the same shape as the New Look and the HMVs and whatever the shops are. They probably have closed down by the time we've released this podcast. They all have the same base and the same template. Whereas it's the reason why this is working so well. I don't see. Well, I've never been into a diner, like a traditional American diner like this before, like a trailer kind of vibe. Never have, probably never will again. So that's I think that's why it works so well. So even in Europe, I think they said there's only 20, I think I read somewhere there's 20 of these diners left in America. So for one of these to be in Disneyland Paris, that's very good. And there's definitely probably less than 5 in Europe of the same quality. So for a historical point of view, as a history student, Simon, I'm sure you would want to keep this for history's sake.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you're right to point out that it does make a really big difference that, it's an actual diner car. It's a bit like on Thunder Mountain. It makes a massive difference that you go to an island. I mean, you're still on a roller coaster, but the fact that the theming is so complete just gives it that extra spark that, as you say, otherwise you could be in a diner in HMV for all you know.
Oh, HMV. While we're on the Twitter section, I want to say thank you to DLP Celebration on Twitter, so at DLP Celebration. They've just been at Disneyland Paris very, very recently for the New Year celebrations, and I don't know if you've seen these, Simon, the amount of images we were sent and tagged in on Twitter from Café de Cascadeurs. So DLP Celebration managed to find it open. We've got pictures of people's bums on stools. So very good. We've got a picture. It looks like it's went down the back of the diner. Pardon me. Went down the back of the diner into some kind of bushes there.
So we've got bums and bushes so far.
Got bums and bushes. More bums. Nice picture of the table there with the setting. One thing I didn't mention was the look, I would say that knife and fork. The knife and fork was plastic, which again makes it dinery, takeaway. Does kind of make it that kind of theme. But again, keeping it simple. Like I said before, burger, in, out. That's all you need. But thank you, DLP Celebration, for the images. It was nice. They tagged us in them on Twitter, like you can do. And this would actually be a nice. This will be a nice thing for the website, wouldn't it? Or a gallery on Twitter or Instagram or something. The Café de Cascadeurs gallery. Yeah,
I think so. I think this is our niche subject now.
And, well, I hope you're going to get there at some point before it shuts down in the next 2 weeks. or months or whatever it is now.
I'll be off tomorrow.
I hope you are. Right, emails. I should always practice these names, especially when we've got such a European audience. But here we go. I'm just going to call him Mike. Mike van der Nieuwenhofen. No? What? No.
Neuvenhof?
Hey, why don't you say these now? I'm embarrassed myself now. Say his surname again.
Neuvenhof? I don't speak Dutch.
Mike van der Nieuwenhof.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Hello, Mike. I hope that it will remain and maybe transform into something like Agent Phil Coulson's diner. Wait a minute, I'll do that whole one again. I hope that it will remain and transform into something like Agent Phil Coulson's diner, or a diner Iron Man theme like the donut shop scene in Iron Man 2. Donuts could be something that we need to include. Something he hasn't mentioned, good old Mike, is milkshakes. I know a lot of people talk about milkshakes on Twitter. It's not available to buy currently. What do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, you've got a diner. You've got to have milkshakes, haven't you?
Yeah.
Although back to the donut thing.
Sorry.
Could you have a donut burger?
Ooh.
Just a donut, but slice through the middle. Don't bother with the jam or whatever. Shove your burger fillings in.
You could, instead of having the nice brioche style tea cakey. Oh, well, I shouldn't say tea cake. That's a northern thing. Bun. I've
never heard a burger described as like a tea cake before.
You could have like I say, like a donut or a bagely style kind of bun, couldn't you?
There you are. Yeah, that's full out Americana.
You could just have 3 donuts, one for starters, with like the salad in it, Caesar salad. You've then got the burger. They've got the burger donut, and you've got the Ben & Jerry's ice cream Nutella donut.
Oh, I'd eat that. I mean, I don't know about the Caesar salad one, but...
And then if you want to do the Café de Cascadeurs challenge, or in this case it would be Agent Phil Coulson's or Iron Man's challenge, you've then got to stack all 3 donuts together and have your main, your starter, and your pudding, dessert, all in one go.
One mouthful.
And you get it for free. Now, even though I embarrassed myself, I apologise, Mike. If you want to record you saying your name and send it to me, I'll hopefully learn that for next time if you want to send us something. And if we haven't traumatised you enough with the way I pronounced your name. But you've got the easy name next.
Yeah, so our next email's from Luke Breen, who, as always, has sent us... to be honest, we should really be publishing Luke's emails just as standout like articles for themselves.
It saves us time having to write anything, which we never do.
It would indeed. Righto, so Luke says, hey guys, back once again with my quick thoughts on Café de Cascadeurs. One of the most overlooked and forgotten about aspects anywhere in Disneyland Paris. I myself haven't given much thought to Café de Cascadeurs until very recently. Tucked away in backlot between Armageddon and Motors Action, the restaurant has always been fighting an uphill battle for popularity. Its small capacity and location gives it no ground for envy from any of the other eateries in Walt Disney Studios Park. While it lacks in practicability, however, it more than makes up for in taste. I experienced Café de Cascadeurs for the first time in my recent June 2018 trip after many recommendations from friends, including our very own Andrew. I was certainly interested to see what all the fuss was about, especially with their burgers. Now I understand the hype. Cascadeurs easily has the best burgers in all of Disneyland Paris and somewhere that will no doubt become a regular spot for me in future trips. While the resort has never been one that's excelled in the fast food snacks, weighing up the restaurant's menu against Disney Village's world brands and old favourites like Five Guys, McDonald's, Annette's, the classic diner's beef still comes out on top. The burger I had on my first trip to Cascadeurs was melt in your mouth sort of good, cooked to perfection and leaving me eager to visit once again. I'm also a big fan of the meal's sides being present on the side, giving you the choice to add it to your burger, should you wish, rather than being forced to scrape it off the bat. A big plus for fussy eaters. Indeed, the restaurant's small footprint only enhances the experience for me, especially when you know the diner's history. There's no doubt you already went through the fact that Cascadeurs was an actual American trailer diner is a level of authenticity you don't normally get anywhere else in a Disney park. The tightly packed interior and classic America furnishings scream out history and character. Being able to watch your meal being cooked and prepared is always a nice touch too, even if it's just out of practicality. As Marvel slowly begins to make its way into backlot and completely transforms the area, Café de Cascadeurs is the sole feature I would miss if it was facing the scrap heap. I'd be gutted if the restaurant disappeared from the resort as a whole. I don't think a Marvel retheme would be appropriate or even fit with the style Imagineers are intending with the future Marvel Land, so should they decide to keep the restaurant functioning, the only option would be to move it. Though this raises the question of where. My first idea was for the open space between Studio Theatre, that being where Cinemagique was, and Stitch Live, the spot where Soarin' has long been rumoured for. It would certainly fit in the Hollywood theme that would stay in Production Courtyard, but it would end up putting Cascadeurs in jeopardy again should Marvel want to expand its way out to there as well. No, I feel the only realistic new home for Cascadeurs would be outside of both parks and into Disney Village. With its small size and the village's lack of central theme, it could nicely fit into any free space you could think of. That being said, it would be yet another restaurant in a place already oversaturated with locations to eat, including one very similar to it in Annette's. Perhaps some form of integration between the two restaurants would spare the fate of Café de Cascadeurs and its menu. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to the show.
We're looking forward to it so much as well. 2 hours about burgers that Simon's never eaten before. Yeah, he said the only place he could go there was Disney Village. He obviously hasn't even thought about putting it on a lake, on a boat.
No, I can't. It's the obvious solution. I don't know why Luke's not thought of it.
But yeah, I don't want to go for every single paragraph of that email again, because it was beautifully said. But he agrees with everything we've said, really. So that's good. Yeah. That means Go on, sorry.
I really like the idea that you could sort of merge together Cascadeurs and Annette. So maybe, I don't know, I guess you wouldn't have one as a lunchtime and one as a dinner place, but I don't know, maybe if Cascadeurs became a kind of premium VIP area of Annette's or something, just sat outside, because it would look cool next to it, and then you'd still want to use it though, wouldn't you?
It would be cool. Obviously, I was the ambassador to Café de Cascadeurs alongside with Jeff from DLP Town Square. And I'm sure we could have some kind of 50% off voucher and a table already there in case we want to use it whenever we want to. Like a VIP roped off area at the back.
Just keep the whole place for yourself, really.
Well, there we go.
Job done.
When I'm travelling around the world, it's just going to travel to my town and back to your town. And back again. That's all it's going to be. Up and down the motorway. We'll share it.
That sounds good to me. I mean, I've heard the burgers there were really quite good.
Has it been mentioned before?
No, I'm just guessing at it.
Right, Ella Cafferel. Hello. I can't say I've ever been to Café de Cascadeurs. I think I walked past it once a couple of years ago. Me and my mum are vegetarian. My sister, this is where I've put a foot in it before at the start, didn't I, when I said about vegetarians and vegans. Anyway, I apologise, Ella. Me and my mum are vegetarian, my sister's vegan, and my brother doesn't like burgers. What? I realise that there is a vegetarian burger, but I'm a very fussy eater, so it has always pretty much been out of the question for us. Which, to be honest, that's the case, isn't it? If you don't like burgers, isn't the place to go.
Whoa, hang on. What's wrong with a vegetable cake? Come on.
Well, it could be a dessert and your main, couldn't it, if it's a cake? However... What are you going to say?
I was going to say in a donut.
Well, there we go.
On a barge, on a lake.
with the stick. However, I think that the interesting question is what is going to happen to Café de Cascadeurs as a result of the WDS expansion. I'm assuming that they'll straight up close it and replace it with some shawarma place or something which seats more people so it can make more money and also fits with the Marvel theme. Despite this, from what I've heard, Café de Cascadeurs is apparently really great, so I think that what they should do is put it in Studio One I'm not talking about moving the trailer in there, but if they were to cordon off a small section of the place currently occupied by Restaurant and Coulisses and serve the gourmet burgers there, that would make work quite well, just to provide a bit small amount of variety to the food that you can get in the park. The theming should be carried over as part of this. This, in my opinion, feeds into a wider debate about where they're going and what they're going to do with Studio One as a result of the WDS expansion. The Studio One, as the name would suggest, is still an adherent to the dropped. He's still adherent to the dropped. It's a working studio theme, suggesting it would possibly get a refresh to fit with the new design ethos. However, as someone who really likes Studio One, I kind of hope that they keep it as it is. If the new ethos is Walt Disney Studios provides immersive experiences in the movies, Studio One would be a nice place to pay homage to the hard-working people who make the movies possible, including the stunt people. Also, if they wanted to bring back Cinemagique as part of this, I wouldn't be unhappy. Thanks, guys, and sorry that this is incredibly tangential.
Well, I don't think you can call it tangential to send in an email, because I've just sat through this whole podcast and I've never been there either. It's fine, we're in the same boat.
We're in the exact same boat. Well, it could be a trailer boat with burgers being served. There needs to be a t-shirt. I want Café de Cascadeurs on a barge.
There we go. We'll get that poll trending on Twitter.
We'll probably manage to make it a bit catchier than that as well. Now, I haven't planned this on purpose, but if we're going one for me, one for you, one for me, one for you, it's your turn again. Good luck.
Excellent. Right, next up is Alan, who's at Cafe Fantasia on Twitter. As always, another massive email, but it's full of gems. Hi, Andrew and Simon. Hope you're both well. Bit of a short email this time, and by short, I mean long. But here are my thoughts and opinions about Café de Cascadeurs. First off, the burger. Café de Cascadeurs first came to my attention in April 2014 when, at 1929, Mickey tweeted a very appealing photo of the restaurant's premium double beef burger. Previously, it hadn't appealed to me, but from that moment, I just knew I had to have that burger. Since then, I've eaten there twice. First time in September 2014, and more recently on my Inside Ears trip back in May 2018.
Wait a minute. You need to mention that bit that's in brackets. Come on, I was waiting for that bit.
Right, Inside Ears. What's Inside Ears? Wax.
I don't know why, it just tickled me. Sorry, go on.
So if you haven't been yet, the main reason why you have to experience Café de Cascadeurs is the quality of the burgers. I'm not exaggerating when I say they're so good. In September 2014, I tweeted that the premium double beef burger at Café de Cascadeurs is the best burger I've ever had at Disneyland Paris. Of course, the title of best burger at Disneyland Paris doesn't necessarily mean it's good burger given the competition, but there you are. And when Five Guys came to Disney Village in 2017, I was convinced that Café de Cascadeurs would lose that title. Sure enough, Five Guys burgers look like someone sat on them, but in terms of flavour, they're pretty unbeatable. So when I returned to Cascadeurs in 2018, admittedly I was sceptical, but after the first bite, I was genuinely impressed and immediately had to tweet the following: I've just had the premium beef burger here in Café de Cascadeurs. Wow, that was an exceptionally good burger. Better than Five Guys. Next up, onto the things that Alan really likes about Café de Cascadeurs. First off, how it's an open kitchen. You can see the two chefs cooking your food right in front of you. A cast compliment to the guys who cooked his premium beef burger to perfection.
Hashtag cast compliment.
Oh, there we go.
Hashtag cast compliment. Do it again. That's twice now.
Do they have algorithms that can track the hashtag cast compliments in podcasts as well now?
We'll soon find out, because that's 3 of them now.
Hashtag cast compliment. And also appreciating how the bottles of sauce, ketchup, mustard and mayonnaise are provided at every table, which, if you suffer from LSA like me, that being lacking sauce anxiety, is such a relief. Then there's the authentic Wurlitzer, the real one, jukebox, which is fun to use. It's 50 cents for one song, or a whole euro if you want 3 songs. And the music, being from the 50s and 60s, creates a really fun atmosphere. When Alan was there in May 2018, they were playing Happy Together by the Turtles, which, by the way, is song 805. But if you want that Back to the Future effect, try song 207, Angel Earth by the Penguins. Next on to the things that Alan he's not such a fan of. So one thing that Café de Cascadeurs is lacking is milkshakes. How can a 50s diner not have milkshakes? It's crazy. Even Victoria's home-style restaurant has them now. If she can make them, why can't Des? Then there's that the opening hours are unpredictable. Even when you've carefully researched them, with the restaurant opening often later than scheduled. Café de Cascadeurs is supposed to be open every day of August and September 2018, always opening at 12 p.m. and shutting at 5 p.m. Does it?
Did it? Did it's the question? Because that's been and gone now. Did it?
It has, yeah.
Who's been tracking? Who's been
that
tracking
should
it?
have been our podcast question.
Did Café de Cascadeurs open every day between August and September?
There we go. Right, now it's on to Alan's top tips for Café de Cascadeurs. Due to the obviously limited capacity of the restaurant, you'll often encounter a queue to get seated. So my advice is show up ridiculously early. When I went in May 2018, I was there at 11:30 a.m. with the doors due to open at 12. And at 11:58 a.m., I was literally the first person into the restaurant. Result.
Woo!
When you go in, if there's just two of you, they'll say, "At the bar, please," but probably with a French accent. But who wants to sit at the bar when there are all those comfortable booths available? In May 2018, I immediately asked for a booth table. So they sell us at the bar. Fail. But eventually, after asking again, they let me have it, probably to shut me up. So just goes to show, pays to be persistent. Next up, Alan's ideas. There's no sign of Café de Cascadeurs on the multi-year expansion concept art. However, this doesn't necessarily mean it'll be removed. With a new Marvel area replacing the backlot, hopefully it can be rethemed into something that fits with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What if it was rethemed to a 1940s diner? Possibly as Tony Stark's gift to Captain America, a guy who was frozen in 1945 for 66 years, to give him something familiar to the modern day. It would create an interesting contrast to the rest of the land with its sort of futuristic industrial aesthetic. Or what if it was somehow transformed into Randy's Donuts, a landmark building in Inglewood, California, founded in 1953, as seen in Iron Man 2. Kind regards, Alan, Café Fantasia. P.S. I discovered that 56-minute documentary about the excellent diner on 8th of November 2014 before anyone else was tweeting about it.
Yeah, and we'll be tweeting about it later on as well when we tell you that you can watch it. It's really useful. It does get a bit boring after a while, but it's a very, very interesting documentary, especially if you're a geek like me. I think we need to go through it section by section and see what we think about it. So yeah, you can't obviously agree with the burger, but I just love the fact that Alan, he must either have a really good organised brain where he can think, I remember tweeting about that, I remember it being May, I remember it being that date, because he remembers. If you say to him, or if you tweet him about a certain thing and say, oh, this has happened, have you seen it? He'll say, I remember tweeting about that on June the 16th, 2001, and there you go, there's a link to the tweet. So whether it's I don't know how he organises it. In fact,
I think he uses the search function on Twitter to find his old tweets.
Search function?
He has a photographic memory of every tweet he's ever sent. Fact.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed if it is just the search function. Surely he needs to remember that he has mentioned it in the first place so he can then search for it.
It's a very good point.
Sometimes he has managed to find tweets that I've posted and I didn't even know I posted them. So he's obviously got a memory of things that have been out there, whereas I haven't even got that memory. But the fact that he's went to Five Guys and came back again after being to Five Guys and wow, that's the best burger ever. It's just amazing. Exceptionally good burger is the quote. I think that can go on a t-shirt as well. Go on.
The other thing to know about what Alan said is, of course, that going from 2014 to 2018, they've had a menu change because there's now no such thing as a double beef burger at Cascadeurs, which is quite disappointing. But it's the burgers being dished up are still the best burgers.
Yeah, it means you have to buy two of them, doesn't it? Which you're not going to really spend €30 for one burger, really. Although they are good. You could probably buy a few, take a nice box, put them in the deep freeze, take them back, cook them again when you get to England. Who knows? They won't taste the same, because obviously now, as we've discussed, you need the flavour and the smells and the theme for the whole flavour, in my opinion. But we'll see. And if I'm taking the trailer back to my hometown, then that's fine. Things that he likes, I agree again, the fact that you can see the chefs cooking your food right in front of you. #Cas compliment again. We haven't mentioned the ketchup and the mustard. You get the full bottle on your table. I like that kind of thing. Earth Angel by the Penguins, yes. Back to the Future, totally different IP, totally different company, but to me, the 50s and 60s always reminds me of Back to the Future, especially the Enchantment Under the Sea dance. So, yeah, put the Back to the Future soundtrack on non-stop. Put it on loop, in my opinion.
Pay for your 3 songs and just Earth Angel every time. Every time,
get it on there. Yeah, why can't Des sort milkshakes out? That's what I want to know. Café Des Cascadeurs is how it's pronounced now, if you weren't there.
It's Café Des, isn't it?
Café Des, man. I have no idea what that was. A northerner trying to sound like he's from somewhere past Manchester. Some good ideas as well. It's always the same though. Marvel. Is it Tony Stark's gift to Captain America? Is it going to be the donut place again? Randy's Donuts. Everything seems to be going back to the same thing.
Well, I mean, I guess the Marvel Cinematic Universe is pretty big now, but there's not a huge amount you could do with 1950s, and particularly as I'm sure many of us will have seen the concept art as well, as has been said.
Haven't we got Doctor Strange coming along very soon to Walt Disney Studios? Doesn't he play with time? Couldn't we have a diner that's like a really modern diner in a futuristic setting, but it's kind of went through some kind of time. He's turned back time, and you can see it going from... You start off in one section where it's the modern section, and you walk through, and it ends up as the American diner. Who knows? Time travel could change it all.
Well, soon though, you might need time travel to actually go there.
Oh, don't remind me. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's totally knocked me off where I'm supposed to be now. I'm looking down here. Right, here we go. iTunes. Now, believe it or not, we have got a review. It's been a while, and thank you for this review. It did happen in June, just after we released the last one. So, love podcasts, 5 stars by Princess Berry Twist, all the way from Australia. So, hello from Austria. All the way from Austria.
That's where the Alps are. You can yodel now.
I'm not going to do that again.
Oh, damn.
I love podcasts, especially yours. I mostly listen to US podcasts, but I love DLRP. And I am so happy that I found this podcast and that you are talking so positively about Disneyland Paris. I hope you'll continue to do so for a long time. I also like trip reports a lot, so it'd be great if you would send some sometime. Now, Princess Berry Twist has probably found out by now, if she's just started listening to the podcast in the last episode, that it takes us a while to get around to doing these, because obviously we do so much research and preparation. She'll notice in the next few episodes that I haven't been for nearly a year, you haven't been for nearly about forever, so...
Yeah, forever, yeah. Feels like it.
So yeah, trip report. If you listen back to the 25th anniversary, I was there doing a trip report then, but... probably by the time Simon goes again, you'll be able to see him on some kind of hologram. And then by the time I go, my son will be 50 years old, and he'll be taking his kids so we can do the trip report for us. But yeah, thank you very much for your feedback. It's great to see and to read those. Is there anything else before we start wrapping up? Is there anything else you think we need to discuss? Like the fact that we've spoken about 1 hour and a half about... a restaurant that you've never stepped foot in?
Well, I mean, as I said at the start, this has been an educational experience for me, and if anything, now I'm just slightly heartbroken that I may have totally missed the opportunity to have the best burgers in the world.
There you go.
This podcast is a tragedy in and of itself.
Oh dear me! And there's probably luckily for you, you've been on a rock and roller coaster. That's probably been and gone.
Armageddon. I mean, that's, I'm mourning the loss of that already, and it's amazing pre-show.
How many times can we say the word pre-show in this episode as well? It definitely won't beat that one. Just imagine if there's a pre-show for Café de Cascadeurs.
Oh, that'd be good.
Well, maybe...
We should start doing a pre-show for this podcast as well. We'd never get around to it.
No, we'd plan the pre-show for about 2 weeks, and then it would take us at least 2 months to then... record that, and then anyway. So yeah, Café de Cascadeurs, best burgers in the world, according to me and Alan and a few other Disneyland Paris fans. If you agree, then send us a message on Twitter. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook and all that jazz, so let us know via those platforms. Redbubble, I pay for all the hosting, boo-hoo, sad story, but yeah, the hosting for the podcast comes out of my pocket, so I don't make much money from this, but just every little bit helps. It's also nice to know that some people are walking around maybe with a t-shirt that I've little designed or has the little magical DLP logo on it. You can buy stickers with that kind of thing on it, or phone covers, anything you like, posters for your wall. Get it from redbubble.com/people/magical DLP. Like I say, it just helps for the hosting of the podcast. And I've kept saying this, but maybe if we had more of that money coming in, I'd be like, oh dear, I need to give something back. And we maybe find the time a lot more frequently to get this done. So I'm not going to... Does it class as a bribe, me saying, pay us that, and we'll do more of these? I don't know. Anyway, we will do more episodes, whether you buy a t-shirt or not. That's just there if you'd like to. I'm also going to talk about the next episode. Now, you kind of gave a little rumour, a little spoiler before, didn't you, Simon?
Oh, you got to have a sneak peek, haven't you?
The focus of the next episode of the Magical Disneyland Paris podcast will see me and that guy Simon discussing an attraction back to our roots. We always like roller coasters, we always like attractions, probably the best. We've done hotels, we've done the Disney Village, we've done restaurant now, hotel, but roller coasters and attractions, that's what we're there for, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, back in our introduction podcast, we said we loved roller coasters, and we still do. And I mean, we've done most of the big ones now, but there's one remaining. Indiana Jones.
If that's not going to tempt you to listen to that podcast for 2 hours, then nothing will.
It was even better than the yodeling.
I could have yodeled that. A yodel, a yodel, a yodel, a yodel. So yeah, we're going to talk about Indiana Jones and the Le Temple du Peril. Don't forget, for the French-speaking listeners out there.
Very good, very good.
You can have a go at doing that as well. Do it in French, please.
Indiana Jones et Le Temple du Peril.
That's a lot better. Having already done some research into this, I definitely tell you out there, as a bit of a pre-research for yourself listening to the podcast, and you for doing the podcast with me, Simon, you need to search for the Indiana Jones Temple of Peril opening ceremony. It's funny, to say the least. It's raining. It involves, I think it's Goofy. Goofy's dressed up as some kind of archaeologist or Indiana Jones lookalike. But anyway, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. So yeah, let us know your opinions on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. Email us at podcast@magicaldlp.co.uk or message us on Twitter, Facebook, or via our website, magicaldlp.co.uk. We haven't had one this time, but don't forget you can also send in your audio opinions, record your views on your laptop, PC, tablet, or smartphone, and send them in via the same methods, podcast@magicaldlp.co.uk. Now, we're getting into the future now, Simon. We've moved on. Since 2014, when we were just available on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, we're now available on TuneIn, we're available on Spotify now. So we're also available on Alexa, Amazon Alexa. So if you search for Disneyland Paris on Spotify, or, now, this is an experiment I'm trying now. Are you ready for this? Alexa, listen to Magical Disneyland Paris podcast. I'm hoping that if somebody has their podcast playing on Alexa or near Alexa, it'll start to play our podcast on their Amazon Echo.
That'll be amazing. I mean, there'll just be this huge loop going on of just Magical Disneyland Paris podcasts.
I don't know where. Well, we'll try it anyway. So yeah, if you're living in your parents' house and they've got an Alexa and you're in the room and you're walking past, just play that bit again where it says, Alexa, listen to Magical Disneyland Paris podcast. Then hopefully it'll start to play. Subscribe. There you go. But yeah, Spotify, it's on there now, and Alexa as well, so we've got lots of different places. No excuse. Share it. If you're listening to it already, then you already know how to find us with what you're listening on, but share it get us on Spotify, get us on Alexa. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and get in touch. This podcast is nothing without you. Because it's okay us talking for an hour about Café de Cascadeurs, but it's the other hour after that where we're talking about your tweets and your emails and listening to your voices on your audio. That's the bit we do this for. Anything else to add?
No, only that next time I promise I will be talking about a subject that I know something about.
Yodel, yodel, yodel. Anyway, thanks for joining us for episode 20 of the magical Disneyland Paris podcast. Until next time, yodel, hee-hoo.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Excelsior!